ESPN basketball insider Jeff Goodman with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. This guy knows his stuff. And Jeff, as we look at the NBA draft, it's been doom and gloom around here with the Knicks falling to that fourth spot in the NBA draft lottery. How bad of a drop is this, and how bad of a draw is it for the Knicks to be at 4?
Not nearly as bad as what you think.
Okay.
Not nearly as bad. Like, it's not doom and gloom because they're still going to get a really good player. From 1 to 4, like the fourth player could be Emmanuel Mudiay, okay? Could very well be Mudiay, who played overseas in China this past year, was set to go to SMU, ended up making a lot of money. I'm not sure he had a choice. I think he almost was forced to go to China because he wouldn't have been eligible by the NCAA. Mudiay could have as high an upside as anybody in this draft. He's the new age point guard, big, strong, athletic, not a great shooter, but I've seen him in games where he's made 5, 6 threes. So I don't think it's as bad as people think. Now, would I rather have Karl Anthony Towns or Jahlil Okafor? Yeah, you put my gun to my head, I'm going to take one of those guys ahead of Mudiay. But I think Mudiay could be a really, really good player in this league for a long time to come. And I think he has the potential to be a top 5, 6, 7 point guard in the league.
I know a lot of people are painting this picture, and I like what I'm hearing from you already, but how significant is the drop-off of talent when you go after Towns and Okafor to Russell, to Mudiay? Is it significant, or is it just a position thing?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of his position. I think Towns is the most talented kid in the draft. And we haven't even seen what Karl Anthony Towns can do. I mean, I have from AAU ball away from the basket. He can stand out there and drain threes. And he never showed that at Kentucky because that's not what Calipari told him he needed from him. So I think Towns is a LaMarcus Aldridge type player down the road, which is, I don't know, what Aldridge is like a second-team All-NBA guy, top 10, 15 player in the league. Okafor, if he's in the right system, could be, one of the top 3 centers in the league. I think D'Angelo Russell and Mudiay both have the potential to be top, 6, 8 point guards in the league. So there's a drop-off. Part of it is there's so many good point guards in the league right now, but even if Mudiay and Russell are really good, there's just so many high-quality guys at that position right now, and there's just not nearly as much in terms of at the center position for Okafor and even at the 4 for Towns. So I think it is a good amount positional why there's a significant gap there.
ESPN basketball insider Jeff Goodman with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. And Goody, in your latest mock draft, you have the Knicks winding up with D'Angelo Russell. What is it about him that makes you feel like he's a good fit for the Knicks?
Well, I think he can play in the triangle, first of all. He's got such a high IQ. This is a kid that told me a couple of years ago he wasn't even really a point guard. He was a straight 2 and couldn't handle ball pressure. When guys would get up in him at Montverde Academy, couldn't handle it. And you never know that by watching him this past year. Thad Matta told me last summer, we all thought Shannon Scott was going to be the guy at Ohio State that took over, had the ball in his hands, was the point guard after Aaron Craft graduated. And Matta told me, he was like, no, we're going to have the ball in D'Angelo Russell's hands a lot. And he wasn't kidding. I mean, D'Angelo Russell had to carry that team. Everybody knew after the first month of the season that he was the guy to make every play. He's got unbelievable court vision. Great passer, has gotten better in terms of his handling of the ball, but he's a guy that can give you, again, he can make people better, and he can score the ball. Good defender, not a great defender, but high IQ, great feel for the game, very mature. Told me when I saw him at the Combine a couple weeks ago in Chicago, and I said, did you ever think you'd be here right now? He's like, no, never in a million years did I think I'd even be gone after 1 year in college, never mind be a top 5 pick.
Wow. Goody, ESPN's Kevin Felton did a mock draft, and he had it fall like this. He had Towns going 1, Lakers and Sixers going guard, and then Okafor slipping to 4 at the Knicks. Pipe dream or possible?
Pipe
dream.
Dang it.
Not going to happen, guys. Not going to happen. Sam Hinkie wouldn't even let it happen. I know Sam Hinkie's already got Embiid and Nerlens Noel. There's no way that dude is going to let Okafor get past 3. He would draft Okafor and trade him or trade Nerlens Noel or do something. I mean, listen, Embiid, Okafor, 4 or 5 for Philly would be ridiculous as long as Embiid stays healthy. And you could trade Nerlens and get pretty good value if you're Sam Hinkie right now because you play well down the stretch.
Dang it, I guess I'll hit the pipe too.
Yeah, not going to happen. I hate the bursary bubble with that one.
That's
no
right. You beefed up Russell enough for me. I feel good either way.
All right,
yeah,
good.
you're going to get a good player, and you need a point guard in New York. Let's face it, what are they, Calderon right now? They got 3 guys under contract, period, it seems like. Anyway, I mean, you need a point guard that you're going to build around, and Russell makes more sense, I think, other than the fact that you want to be more athletic. So Moutier is more athletic. He could run. Now, I don't know if Moutier doesn't have the feel that Russell has. D'Angelo could really get – I mean, Carmelo will love D'Angelo. So either way, they're just totally different point guards, completely different.
Yeah. Goody, as you look later in the draft, late in the first or in that second round, who's a quality guy that you would maybe consider a steal or just very good quality at a later pick in the draft that you really like at this point?
Well, a guy to keep an eye on, guys, is Robert Upshaw, and only because he's had a bunch of issues off the court. He went to rehab. He's a 7-footer who started his career at Fresno, was kicked out of Fresno, went to Washington, played for Lorenzo Romar, was among the nation's leader in blocks. He is, like we talk about Willie Cauley-Stein as the best, defensive big man. Robert Upshaw is right there with him. The difference is all the off-the-court stuff has happened with Upshaw. So most people have him as a late first-rounder, maybe an early second-rounder. Somebody may roll the dice on Upshaw. And if this kid can stay straight, if he can, focus and get past what's plagued him so far, he's a lottery pick talent. So that's an interesting one. I think, where does Tyus Jones go? Duke's point guard who probably goes in the 20-25 range. Cameron Payne, another point guard that is moving up the draft boards right now from Murray State. I think there is value to be had, as there usually is late in the first round. It's all about finding them. I mean, listen, nobody thought when Jimmy Butler was taken with, I think, the last pick of the first round by Chicago, he'd become this. Draymond Green. A lot of it is fit, though, fit and opportunity. I mean, Draymond Green, if he's on a different team right now, Draymond Green may be their 8th man.
Wow.
But he's got the opportunity in Golden State. Why? David Lee gets hurt. Bo gets hurt. Draymond Green's got a guard last year, Blake Griffin, in the playoffs when they played the Clippers. So so much of it is about opportunity and fit.
Jeff Goodman, if it has anything to do with the basketball, he's all over it. ESPN Basketball Insider at Goodman ESPN on Twitter. Goody, thanks so much for your time today, man. This was really awesome.
You got it. Likewise, guys. Appreciate you having me.